Hello and welcome back guys to today's tutorial on learning C++ from the scratch. In today's tutorial, we're going to talk about a really simple topic, but an important one in C++, which is called the escape sequence. So what is escape sequence? Well, escape sequence is a sequence of character or group of character used between this double quotation mark over here. This group of character or sequence of character usually start with the backslash character and then followed by a letter or group of letters or maybe a group of numbers. So like for example in this example, the backslash is followed by the character n, and it can be any other character, like maybe instead of n it can be t and a, and it is called escape because it escapes the normal meaning of the character that are followed by the backslash. So like normally without the backslash it's going to print n character, but when it is used with the backslash the meaning of the n character change, where in this case it will not be printed anymore, but instead it's going to do something different. Computer will understand that we want to do something different between this double quotation mark, which in this case backslash and n will instead print the follow like words that come after the backslash n in a new line. As you can see over here, they are not printed in one line anymore, and each group of character do different things in C++. So now, let's move into some examples of how we can use the escape sequence between this double quotation mark in C++. And I'm going to have two C out here. This will be the first one, and this will be the second one, where in the second one we are going to use some escape sequence examples. And so we can compare the difference between the second one and the first one, where in the first one we are not going to use any escape sequence. So let's move with the first escape sequence example, which is the backward slash and followed by the n character. Well, normally without this escape sequence our cout will print all the string in one line, but when we use the slash n between these two words, it is going to separate the two words into two different lines. So let us run the program so that we can see the difference. Where as you can see, the first one is printed in one line, but the second one is printed in two separated lines. And we did that using the escape sequence backward slash and n. And of course, we need the backward slash because the computer can identify that we are trying to use the escape sequence when we start with the backward slash character. Where if we only use the n character, it will print the n character normally. As you can see over here, it will not like create a new line for the word to be printed. So that's the first example. Our next example is backward slash nt, where backward slash nt will create a white space which is called a tab in this location over here, which is between the hello word and the word world, as you can see over here. Simple, right? And then we have another example which is slash and a. Simply, this escape sequence will create an alert sound, which we can use in our program maybe when we want to alert our user that they're doing something wrong, for example, or there's an error occurred in our program. Did you hear that sound? That was caused by this escape sequence over here, which is slash and a, or alert. Slash a means alert. And we have another important escape sequence, which is backward slash and double quotation. Well, example, if we want to print this word over here between double quotation mark, like this one, you will see that our computer turned the color of this word into black, not blue like the usual over here. Because now computer don't recognize this as a string anymore. Our computer can understand that the start of the string that we are trying to print will start when we print this double quotation mark. So this is the start of the string that we want to print, and the ending will be another or the second double quotation mark. So the moment it hit the second double quotation mark, it will understand or get that, oh, so this is the end of our string that we want to print in our display. So the same thing happened here, where the first moment it hit this double quotation mark, it get that we are trying to print something on our string, a string in our screen, and this is the start point. And the moment it hit the second double quotation mark, it get that we want to end the printing of the string that we want to print in our screen. But what we want to do is that we don't want to end our string here, but we want to use this double quotation mark not as an ending of our printing, but instead I want just use it as a normal character to be printed in our screen. Now if you try to run our program, we will see some error occurred over here because it's so that we end our string here and then use some words that are not like a code. So how can we tell our computer that we want just to print this as a normal character, not use it as an ending point of our string? Well, simply, we can do that by using a backward slash before it, and also do the same thing in this double quotation mark that we want it to be treated as a normal double quotation mark that will be printed in our screen. So now this one and this one will be printed in our screen as a normal double quotation mark and will not be get as that we want to use it as an ending of our string that we want to print in our screen. Now let's try to run it again. As you can see, it worked properly without any problem and printed this double quotation mark without any problem. Okay, so now, what if we want to print the backward slash only, like this? Maybe we can leave some space and try to print it. As you can see, it didn't print the backward slash because backward slash only like notify the computer that we are trying to use the escape sequence, but backward slash alone can do anything. So what if we want to print the backward slash itself? Well, simply, instead of typing one backward slash, we are going to type two backward slash. In this way, our computer will get that we are trying to print the backward slash normally without like using another character beside it, like maybe N and T and A and so on. And now if we run our program, as you can see, it's working properly and printed the backward slash without any problem. So if we want to print one backward slash, we are going to need two backward slash over here. And if you're going to need like to print maybe three backward slash, we are going to write 6 backward slash for it to print 3 backward slash, as you can see over here. And if you want to print 5 backward slash, we are going to need 10 backward slash over here. And there's other more backward escape sequence that we can use in our computer in C++, but you can say that this is the most important escape sequence that you only need to know at this moment. And of course, we did have an example about the slash n before. where we said that it is going to print the second word over here into another line. And of course, we can do that using the end line itself, where end line is an instruction in C++ that print the second cout in different line. Am I right? So instead of using /n, what we can do is like close our first word over here so that this will be the first string that will be print, and then print to less than and use the end line instruction. And then connect this two sentence with this end line instruction using this double less than. And if we try to run our program, what we will see is that it will do the same functionality that the /n did in our previous example. But as you can see, these need a lot of typing and effort, which why /n in this case is more useful because it's easier to use in this case. Where also, as you can see over here, if we didn't type end line over here, this cout and the next cout will be printed in one line. As you can see over here, they are both printed in one line because we didn't end the line over here using the end line instruction. So instead of using the end line instruction, we can instead use the escape sequence backward /n, and it will do the same thing as the end line instruction that we did before. Now if we run our program, as you can see, it prints the next cout in different line. So that's how useful escape sequence and can be and make typing or programming easier for us as a programmer. And that's all for today's tutorial. Thank you very much for watching and see you next time.